Welcome to my Azure tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover Azure Migration Project. So if you ask me, do we need Azure Migration Project uh, to do the migration from your on-premise to Azure? I would say it is not necessary, it's not mandatory to have an Azure Migration Project in your Azure portal. But Azure Migration Project does what it does is it's connect with your on-premise environment like a VMware or Hyper-V, and then it evaluate your servers for is it migration ready or not. So that way you can find out what you need to do to migrate for those servers to Azure. So it is a very helpful steps to start your migration. So so how you can do the migration is with the migration project is first you need to create the Azure migration project. So how you can create one is so I have a PowerPoint slide, so I will go through that one also. So how to create Azure migration projects? So can be done in multiple ways. So I'm going to show you two different ways here. So one is, so you click here, create a resource, and it will go to, it's taking some time. Okay, so this is where your Azure Marketplace is, and then you type Azure Migration. Looks like I made a mistake. Okay, Azure Migrate. Alright, so it will bring up a screen. So you can create an Azure migration, and it will give you all what is needed in your on-premise to evaluate your environment using the Azure Migration Project. You can read all these things, or you can go back to home, and then if you want anything, if you see here, search resources, services, and docs. So this is where you can type anything to create new and to see your existing ones. So I will type Azure Migration Project. Here we go. So you will get the screen of here, migration project. You add a new one here. So in the new one, this is my pay as to go account. So you type a name, say test migration migration project 1, and then pay as to go. Your subscription, you can select subscription what you want. If you have multiple, you can pick whatever you want, but I have only one option here. And then you have to create a resource group. So I have already one, or otherwise you can create a new one, say resource group dash 2. To have a resource group, Microsoft doesn't charge for a resource group. It's just a folder. Um, and then resource group here, and then here, and geography, United States, and you can pick your country, and you can create in only in these areas, as of now, but Microsoft might expand. With Microsoft Azure, uh, so the with regard to resources, you don't have all the resources in all the geographical location. I will cover that in another video, but this one is only available, you can create in 3 countries. Here 3 continents basically create. So I will create this one, and it will spin, it will take a couple of seconds, and you see the progress is here, is going through here. Okay, so it says the deployment succeed. and you can pin to your dashboard or you can go to the resource. But if you want to see that here, you just click the refresh button. So here is your Azure Migration Project. All right, so how you can, um, develop on this one to access all your servers is I am going to show you the slideshow. So this is what I created. This is my previous project. All right, so now I go to the second slide. So install the collector appliance. So you need to install an appliance in your environment to do the assessment. Say you have a virtual environment, say VMware. So you want to connect your Azure Migration Project to your the VMware environment, so both can communicate. So Azure can get the metadata from your VMware environment vCenter server uh, to access all the servers for lift and shift. So here, so you go here and discover and access. You click here, and then you see here, discover machines. So you click on here, it will have some description to it. It says the discovery of the on-premise environment is done using a virtual appliance called the collector, which need to be configured in the on-premise environment. It's called collector. uh, Click discover machine for steps to configure the collector appliance. So this will give you a comprehensive step on how you can configure this collector appliance. So I click here. All right, here are the steps. So I will go very briefly. First, you have to download the OVA file, and then you have to create a VM from this OVA file uh, in your environment. So you download this one, take this file, and move it to your environment, and then create a VM, a collector VM using this OVA. It's a 18 gig file. It's a pretty big file. So, and make sure you have this project ID and the key. So these are the two things that will connect your collector to your Azure Migration Project. These are the credentials. All right, so it says download, create collector virtual machine. I told you what to do, and then configure collector and start discovery. So you need to configure the collector, then only you can start the discovery. And copy this project credentials, copy this below this one. So you have to copy and paste that in a notepad. So this is available in your on-premise to do the authentication. All right, so let's go back to the slide. So all right, so we completed this one. All right, and then so you download the OVA file and install inside your physical OVM environment. The collector agent should be part of your domain, so then only it can connect to your environment. And then the configuration has multiple steps. So first, all right, so this is the VM I have in the VM. So this is the desktop of the collector appliance, and then run collector. You click run here, and then it will bring up this environment for you. So these are the prerequisites, and then after this prerequisite met, and you move on to the next step. So in the next step, specify the vCenter server details. So it has to connect to your vCenter server, so that one hold all the metadata for all of your VM. This will enable the collector agent to be able to communicate with the VM environment. So you put your IP address of VM, the vCenter server name and username and password for that, so it can authenticate, and then specify a migration project details. You should be able to collect these details from, I showed you how to do that, right? you have to copy that key and the project ID. So the next step is you put the project ID and you put the key, and then you connect. So and connection successful here. And then you come here. So after you come here, now it's active. But you see here, it is not in the past. If you see, this step is inactive because you haven't done this step. So this will be inactive. All right. So you come here, now it's active. Create assessment. So after you do all the steps, you can click on create assessment. And then it will you have to have these details as I said before. And then after you discover, it will discover all the VMs. So here I have 102 VMs being discovered in this one. And then you can monitor the collection progress. So in the in the progress you will see how many VMs have been discovered, stuff like that. And then okay, once you have the discovery process complete, you can see all the discovered machine in your Azure Migration Project portal. So this is the portal, and you can see in the overview, you will see so we have done like a couple of assessment, 5 groups. Say you have 10 Linux servers. All right, so you want to group them as one because they are, by operating system, they are one kind. All right, so you can group based on whatever. Say you want to group the database servers, or you want to group file servers. You can create, the group, and then you can do the assessment. Because some applications like a database, you need to. They are like a very memory intensive, and so it's better to have more processing, more hard drive with like SSD hard drive, more fast hard drive. So you will have faster access to your database. So users won't see the delay in accessing the data. So here we have done 5 assessment and 5 groups out of these 102 machines. So and then you see here, so you have here, so I have 5 machines under one group. So these are the group names. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 groups. So one group has all the VMs, another group has these ones. So this will give you a cost structure, how your cost is going to look like. So this one is I will cover in the next video. By accident it came into this slide. So how to create the recovery services vault, that is the next step you need for Azure migration. But stay tuned for that video. But so this is how you create the migration projects. And so one of the things you can do is, say if you have a database server that needs high CPU, high memory, and SSD hard drive, so you can group 5 of them and do an assessment. It will give you a cost, how much it costs for the memory, how much it costs for the storage and CPU, and all this kind of assessment you can do. You can do for individual server or group of servers, or for entire environment, based on what you need. All right. Thanks for watching the video, and I will see you in the next video. Stay tuned, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.